morning at 9:30.
You're kidding.
And the talk you love is always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartMedia, or TuneIn apps. Just search for KDAWN in Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Happy Easter to everybody. If you're listening to the show, we really do appreciate it. It's a holiday. Beautiful day out here in Las Vegas. But you should be listening to this show because, well, all hell broke loose this week. We have so much to talk about. It is going to be ridiculous. And I got to give an announcement first before we get into everything. At the moment, depending on how the weather is out in Washington, we may be getting preempted on KDAWN for the Dodgers pregame show. So if that does happen at 9:30, all you need to do is either go to the Odyssey app, AUDACY, download the app. You'll be able to still hear the show, just like when the Dodgers are preempting anything else on the station. So just make sure you have that app handy, AUDACY. Go get it and just search us, and you'll be able to listen to the show after 9:30, as long as that does happen. Or you can join us on our live stream too, and we're going to have a great time on there. Everybody gets to see me and the team giggle and be stupid. Go to Facebook and YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, or on X at Mark Hoke Show. We're streaming there as well. So just remember that about 9:30, we may be getting preempted by the Dodgers. So don't listen to the Dodgers. I'm an Orioles fan. The heck with those boys in blue. I mean, they're not very good, are they? Anyway, let's get this rolling. First, I got to bring in my pal, my buddy, mi amigo. I believe he's road tripping it right now. Say hi.
What's up? Headed to the women's championship game today. I'm an ambassador for the city of Phoenix for the women's Final Four. So I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. Good to see you, Mark.
How'd you get to be an ambassador?
Well, you got to win a couple state championships, and then you got to be kind of well known in the city of Phoenix for basketball. And when you can do those two things, you get a level of respect that brings you to the women's Final Four.
You gonna keep Dawn Staley and Coach Gino apart?
Well, I think Gino's already back in Storrs, Connecticut, licking his wounds. It was a great game on Friday night, and I expect nothing different between South Carolina and UCLA today.
Yeah, it should be a good one. So.
Is North Dakota State in there?
No, but they should have been. I'm ticked.
I bet.
They didn't. Only lost 4 games all year and don't get in the tournament. Are you kidding me? Ugh.
It happens.
Don't get me started on that one. But, Coach, and by the way, Eric's in the chat box there, so I'll say hi to the Haymaker while he's throwing out comments. A ton of things went on this week, and obviously the biggest events were on SmackDown on Friday night. I don't even know where I want to begin with all this. It has been rated, and I think this ratings on Cage Match, sometimes everybody gets a little crazy, but it is now rated the 3rd worst wrestling show of all time. That's a little much, but it's like a 0.33. A lot of things took place on there. The show opens up, Coach, with Randy Orton in the ring, and said they were going to reveal who the person he was calling on the phone was. That royal family. And it turns out, is it like Ric Flair or, Cowboy Bob Orton or Vince McMahon or anybody like that? We get Pat McAfee. Pat is involved in WWE. Pat's ESPN, popular guy. No doubt about that. But not only does Pat go out and he kicks Cody in the Huevos Rancheros, but he does an unscripted promo about how bad WWE is, how it's Cody's fault that they're not selling tickets. They need to get back to what they were doing in the Attitude Era. Tired of 5'5", 95-pound wrestlers, when you've got Randy Orton sitting around. Coach, give me your reaction first to the revelation that it was Pat McAfee, and then to what he said.
Well, it started with a little bit of disappointment till Pat opened his mouth, and then when Pat opened his mouth, I tend to agree with him, and I'm excited to see what's in store. Who knows who's going to show up in WrestleMania and where it's going to go from here. We might have a 2026 version of the NWO rekindled right in WWE, so I'm excited for that. At least it's something new and something exciting that none of us have anticipated, so I'm all in for it.
I was disappointed as well because I think I was expecting somebody a little higher in the wrestling history hierarchy. I first would say to everybody, I think we got to give it a shot because Pat is a pretty good dude. Now, apparently TKO decided on this around Elimination Chamber. Ari Emanuel represents Pat McAfee. So he decided he wanted to get Pat involved and, felt like the show on ESPN would bring more people in, more ticket sales. I don't know if that's the case. It's so close. I mean, I don't know how many more tickets you're going to get sold unless you do something incredibly drastic at this point. Everybody's got to make their plans to get to Vegas. But as to what he said, it started a lot of discussion. There's no question about it. I was listening to Mark Henry on Busted Open Radio talking about, how he'd like to see it, the WWE product not be so PG friendly and, bring, get a little more attitude into it. I don't want the Attitude Era back because I thought there was a lot of stuff that really sucked in the Attitude Era.
Whoa, slow down.
There's some great things. There's no question about it. But, you had the Kiss My Ass Club and the bra and panties matches and, all sorts of dumb stuff that they did. And, all the title changes, which, by the way, we're now up to 43 since September 20th. Congratulations, WWE. But there was some cool stuff that happened too. Don't get me wrong, but I think that if you want to make the WWE product better, and people are in WWE would probably cringe when you say this, but I think you got to make it a little more like AEW, a little more intensity, a little more blood and guts, a little more high level. I want to wipe you out kind of stuff instead of everybody just kind of getting in the ring and, doing a couple backstage promos. I don't like you. I don't like you. You do this, you do that. Okay. And wrestle. And that's it. And there's a reason that a lot of times the WWE shows are, kind of get B's and B pluses when everybody rates them. They never get A's. And it's because I feel like they're missing that level of intensity in what they do. So I get where that comes from. Is Pat McAfee the key to it? I don't know, but can we find a middle ground, Coach?
I think we can, and I think people have been craving storylines because AEW is where the best wrestle, and I love AEW, but I wish they had some more storylines. One thing you had with the Attitude Era, whether you liked them or not, were some unique storylines, and that's what WWE is missing right now. Yeah, you could say the blood and guts and the matches and all that, but I think their hands are kind of tied by TKO and by advertisers as to what they can and can't do. I think Tony Khan has more free reign with being on HBO Max. He has, and TNT might not have such a big deal with what they're doing with the blood and guts, but it's gonna be interesting in what happens if they come out with a Travis Scott kind of celebrity thing again. It's gonna really come back to burn WWE because we're still pissed about that 4-minute, 3-minute entrance he had last year at WrestleMania, and it went nowhere for that. I would say that the Cena Cody match was definitely one of the worst WrestleMania main events. And if they lay an egg again this year, all hell's going to break loose.
Oh, and then they had actually improvised sending Cody out to do that extra promo because Pat went off script. His was apparently totally from the heart, and then Cody came out and cuts a promo, and and he's all fired up at TKO, and they told him go out and say some bad stuff about us. Okay, but I have a feeling that Cody kind of believes some of that stuff. If you look back at the last 3 WrestleManias, you had WrestleMania 40 where you had The Rock sticking his nose in everybody's business because, they felt like they needed to do something different, and then Cody managed to fight that off. You go back to last year, you stick John in the John Cena thing, which wasn't even really planned until Elimination Chamber. Plus, you get Travis Scott in there too. And I'm sure Cody probably wasn't too thrilled how that turned out. And now you go and you've got Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. That's a match. You don't need anything else for that. You don't. And all of a sudden, Pat McAfee's into it. And I can imagine that Cody's got to, in his private moments, has to be sitting there saying, why don't you think I can carry a match? Why don't you think that I'm the guy? Because that's how I would be feeling to a point right now. Yeah, I am on top, but at the same time, you keep sticking stuff in here, and you don't need it. I'm QB1. You think there's a little bit of that in Cody's heart right now?
I don't know. Cody's he's a real professional when it comes to professional wrestling. He knows the business. He knows the ups and downs, and he knows that if he does open his mouth, it could affect his pocketbook. So I think Cody's okay with whatever's happening right now because he is QB1. He is the one that's selling the most merch. He is the one that the kids love. And it'll be interesting to see if in this 2-week build toward WrestleMania, he overcomes Randy and overcomes the firepower that's going to be coming after him at WrestleMania. And he's going to maybe come out as the ultimate champion, the ultimate babyface that everybody loves. And I'm here for that. I can't wait to see Cody beat Randy and whatever he has come out and at WrestleMania. I think Cody's going to come out on top.
Well, let's get to the business side of it, of this play with Pat McAfee. Do you think it's going to do what they're hoping it's going to do? That it's going to sell tickets? That it's going to, get more people to watch WrestleMania because of Pat? I can see it on the viewership side with, him being on ESPN. He's going to be promoting the hell out of it on his show the next 2 weeks, I'm sure. But I don't know if this helps ticket sales, Coach. I don't know if somebody who's sitting around saying, I don't want to go to WrestleMania is now going to go because Pat McAfee's involved with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. That just doesn't click. And I think a lot of fans are really upset about this too, because involving Pat McAfee in there just to a point just didn't make sense in a story. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So does it help them, or does it kind of leave you, okay, just something added in?
I do not think it's going to help ticket sales. I think it might help, like you said, with the viewership, but we still have 2 SmackDowns to go before WrestleMania. So you never know who's going to come out in the next 2 weeks. And if he does bring out some heavy firepower and create a faction around Randy that is going to make it look inevitable that he's going to beat Cody, I think it might drive some ticket sales, because there are a lot of Randy Orton fans out there. There are a lot of people that do love the Attitude Era and would like to see a return to that style of storytelling and wrestling. And you put everything together, you have an opportunity. If it turns out to be like Travis Scott, like I said, it's gonna be horrible, because Travis Scott is a much huger star than Pat McAfee. I mean, you can say that, and maybe not in the wrestling circle, but worldwide, Travis Scott brings eyes. And what it did was it was counterproductive to WWE. So we can't have that again.
Yeah, by the way, in the chat box, and this is what I'm putting up right now, Coach Keith Morrison says, agree with you 1,000,000%, Mark. Thank you. Thank you. Occasionally I am right.
Yeah, well, Coach is a great man, but I think he's a little off on this one.
Wow. All right, Coach versus Coach Crime we've got going on. All right, we are going to take try to take a break if I can talk. And there was a lot more that happened on SmackDown. I personally invited Carmelo Hayes to listen to the show. Carmelo, this segment coming up is for you, my friend. What am I going to talk about? Well, you'll find out. Plus, Danhausen. Oh, Jesus. I don't even know what to say. Stick around, everybody. More on the Mark Hoke Show. Coach Rosey, myself, we'll be right back.
Most of us don't think twice about turning on a light, taking a shower, or running to the store. But what if you couldn't for a week or longer? Have you considered what you would do without power or running water? Most people aren't prepared for 3 days, let alone weeks. But here's the good news. If you can prepare now for 30 days, you're ready for almost anything. Power outages, wildfires, earthquakes, or any unexpected disruptions. Getting there is easier than you think. Create a disaster preparedness kit today. Pick up one extra can of food this week. Right now, set aside a few gallons of water. Pick up a battery-powered radio, extra batteries, and a flashlight. Include a first aid kit and your basic household needs. Small steps add up, and before you know it, you're ready. For a checklist and more info, visit oem.nv.gov. Sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Nevada Office of Emergency Management, Homeland Security, and your local emergency manager's office in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly. That's it. Thanks.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Thank you.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hearing loss makes it hard to stay connected over the phone. Now, a new caption telephone, CapTel, shows captions of everything a caller says. It's like closed captions for TV, but for phone calls. It's helping people nationwide reconnect to family and friends. Best of all, CapTel is available at no cost to people with hearing loss. Shipping and installation are free. Struggling with hearing loss? Call now to see if you qualify for a no-cost CapTel phone. Call 800-375-1175. That's 800-375-1175.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. 101.5 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Yeah, Mark Hoke, don't miss. Here's Mello. We're going to talk about Carmelo Hayes as we continue to break down that insane episode of SmackDown on Friday night with the real Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum. Very happy to have you on the show, Coach. What's going on? How's the drive going?
We're almost to the arena. I'll have to cut off a little bit to get through security, but
okay.
The Mark Hoke Show is so hot. You know, you got to go through an extra level of security to get into the women's Final Four. So
they should just
be prepared for that.
All right. They should just let you right in. Well,
that's right.
So the rematch for Carmelo Hayes and Sami Zayn for the U.S. title happened. Trick Williams showed up. First, Trick is bringing out Lil Yachty. I got to be honest with you. I had no idea who Little Yachty was. I really didn't.
You got no riz, Mark.
I know a few of the guys, but that would he hit it big in like 17. Come on, man.
Hey, it's Little Yachty. It's big for people that love hip hop.
Okay, that's fair. I understand that. I'm not in the genre, but Little Yachty comes out and just screeching his head off. I would have figured somebody that's on the mic would know to not like lose control of his voice like that. But anyway, so Carmelo loses the match. And so it will be Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. And the first thing I'm going to say is, why does Trick need Little Yachty? Of all the guys, he has been nailing media all over the place. ESPN can't get enough of Trick Williams. So I don't know why you need to attach a rapper to Trick, number one. Number two, Lil Yachty apparently is going to be going to WrestleMania. And the guy that helped carry SmackDown on his back, the guy that you had as one of your future superstars, the guy that you saddled in a weird program with The Miz for a long time, while all these other guys are getting ready to come up and take over like Trick and Obafemi, that guy, Carmelo Hayes, is, at least for the moment, sitting at home. And I just want to say this about Carmelo. I met Carmelo. Just a terrific guy. Really understands the business. Cares very deeply about it. I remember when I asked him about, when he was on the verge of winning the NXT championship, and he just had to, sit back for a second and think about all the people that helped him get there. And you could tell he really cared. Is this the way that Carmelo Hayes should be treated? And I'm going to just say this. No. To screw him over a month before WrestleMania, after all he did all year long, and the talent that he has, I don't care if you're saving the feud or not with Trick Williams. That's a load of garbage. Carmelo Hayes should be on this card, period, end of story. There's very few people in WWE that have really earned the right to be on WrestleMania. And, I understand how booking works. Sometimes you just do things like this. But to screw Carmelo out of this one, to me, is a load of garbage, Coach. It's a load of garbage. Carmelo Hayes is a great athlete, a great wrestler. He is absolutely fantastic in everything you could ask him to do. He should be on this card. Thoughts?
Mark Hoke, you're definitely entitled to your opinion. But at this point in 2026, the man who has got the swag, the man who has the fans eating out of the palm of his hands, the man who is on ESPN, the man that is on multiple media networks is not Carmelo Hayes, even though he is great in and out of the ring. That man is the lemon pepper stepper, Trick Williams. And trust me, at WrestleMania, that ginger Sami Zayn, like Trick and Yachty were saying Friday night, he's just going to be a squash match to Trick Williams. And the Trick generation will begin. Now, Carmelo, does he deserve an opportunity? Of course he does. He's been a loyal soldier for WWE and has had great matches with not only Trick, but multiple people in NXT. But at this point in time, the man right now is Trick Williams.
It's like you're dating a girl for the whole school year, and then 2 weeks before prom, you pick up a different girl and dump them. It's just wrong, Coach. And it's rare that I feel like this. Just look, you're not entitled to anything, period, in just any aspect of life. But man, if there's anybody that earned the right to be on this card this year, it was Carmelo, and he and Ilya Dragunov. Let them fight again. Give them something. But of course, it's not settled yet, and maybe they're going to do a triple threat with Carmelo. I don't know. But Carmelo, if you're listening out there, you got me in your corner. Maybe not Coach totally, but you got me in your corner. You should be at WrestleMania this year. And
hey,
I
Carmelo, I love you. I love you, Carmelo. Why don't we give you a match in Evolve, WrestleMania weekend? But Trick is a man that's going to be main eventing multiple WrestleManias in the future for WWE. Hopefully, Carmelo, you can get to his level. But today, that's not the case.
Okay. All right. That's wow. Fair enough. Coach is cutting a nice promo in there. I am too. I want Mello. All right. I want to talk about this Danhausen match that happened too, where man, how the mighty have fallen as Damian Priest. He's still world tag team champions with R-Truth, but he's in a tag match. They're taking on the Miz and Kit, and son of a gun, if Danhausen isn't getting involved in this whole thing. And this is a match for the World Tag Team Championships. And Danhausen, trying to curse the Miz, ends up cursing the referee. And when the referee was going to give the other team the championship, sticks his arm in the air and it won't come down. It is cursed. And Danhausen has somehow magically made sure that R-Truth and Damian Priest remain the World Tag Team Champions. And this is what I was afraid of with Danhausen. I like Danhausen. I have been a Danhausen fan for a long time. I really enjoy what he does. But you are changing a World Tag Team Championship result on a magical curse. Really? Really? Coach, my head was spinning when I saw that. In the moment, was it kind of fun? Yeah, to a point. But what are we going to do with Danhausen now? Is Danhausen going to take control of the WWE? He's going to curse everybody on the way to winning the world championship? Is he going to bribe him to curse their way to the champion? Maybe Tozawa could pull $100,000 out of his pocket and say, Danhausen, I want world championship. And somehow Tozawa becomes the world champion because of Danhausen. I mean, come on, Coach. The cursing stuff is fun, but there's a point where it's just
You're sounding like an old man, Mark.
Yes.
This is the difference between AEW and WWE. AEW had a vision for Danhausen that didn't really suit his needs. There wasn't a lot of merch opportunities. And now you can see what Danhausen can do. He's not going to give you 5-star matches, but he's going to give you 5-star laughs. He's going to give you 5-star moments, and he's going to give you things that you can clip and put on social media. WWE is a different booking style, different business model than WWE. And you can see that even though you might not appreciate Danhausen, and I don't appreciate his greatness all the time, a lot of people do. And in WWE right now and throughout history, they're going to go with who's over, and Danhausen is over. I'm looking forward to the curse that he's going to do at WrestleMania, and I hope he curses Coach Keith and his mouth for making those terrible comments in the chat.
Sorry, that was great. But yeah, I mean, look, I get what you're saying, Coach. But when it comes to championship matches, no, just no. Let Danhausen curse everybody and do the silly stuff. And look, I kind of, when he cursed Dominic Mysterio, okay, I could kind of swallow that one a little bit. But magical power to stop an arm from going down, come on.
Hey,
save it.
Crazier things have happened. People still talk about the gobbledygooker that is not positive, but it's still talked about through the generations. And I think this Danhausen bit is going to have its run, and it'll eventually go away. But it'll be clippable for years to come.
Oh man, I just no. That's all I'm going to say about it. No. By the way, I felt bad for our Las Vegas resident Disco Inferno, by the way, you caught a stray in the Cody Rhodes promo. I think Disco Inferno could have led the NWO. That would have been a great pairing. turn him from goofball to criminal mastermind. I've been down with that. I felt bad for Disco. Did you feel bad for Disco?
No, I did not feel bad for Disco. He deserves to catch strays all the time. And if I see you in Vegas, Disco, I'll shake your hand. You were a great character like Danhausen, and you provided a lot of memories. But running the NWO, he deserves every positive, but mostly negative comment that he can take. And he'll eat it up, too, because Disco's a good sport.
Yeah, Glenn's a good guy. But, yeah, so, by the way, the ladies did a great job in that tag match on SmackDown. I don't want everybody to think that it was a horrible episode. I mean, I think that 0.33 rating is just was a little ridiculous. But man, there's a lot of interesting things that came out of that as we head into WrestleMania. Coach John Cena is going to be hosting, and some dorks like Adrian Hernandez, for example, how you feel now if you paid $1,000 to see John Cena's last match? Well, he's hosting, he's not wrestling. Look, trying to sell tickets. I have no problem with John Cena being the host of WrestleMania. He's got a ton of fans. Why wouldn't you? I mean, you're a coach. I was a coach for a long time. You want to get your best players on the field, man. You want to get them out there. So especially if you're struggling a little bit, why would you not ask John Cena to do something for WrestleMania? What's the big deal? I don't get that.
Yep. No, John's always got his lovers and his haters. And my prediction is that they're going to use Danhausen and John Cena together to make a curse that's going to be a WrestleMania moment that will be talked about forever. That's my prediction.
That would be fun. I could deal with that. Danhausen cursing. Would he really curse John Cena?
No, I think the two of them will come together. John might have an opportunity to either get humiliated and out comes Danhausen to curse somebody, and John Cena's going to ride off on the white horse and be the John Cena that we love.
Yeah. Let's some comments in the chat box here. Our friend TubeMan316 says Ari's become Temu final boss by taking Rock's place, and we think the Rock won't get his Saudi payday because Riyadh won't get WrestleMania 43 because of the Iran war. Is Ari Emanuel possibly becoming the new final boss, Coach?
TubeMan, that would be interesting to see, but I think the war will be over by then, and I think Saudi will be hosting WrestleMania, but there's a lot left to be seen.
And Coach Keith Morrison saying it's going to be Jelly Roll. Oh, God. Yeah, we got Jelly Roll involved in that whole Cody and Randy thing, too. And Javon Campbell, 8357, saying it's only fitting that Stone Cold Ron Cena made the hot tag to Danhausen. Yes, that was funny. I was okay with that. It was kind of cool. Oh, but boy, a lot to digest from that episode of SmackDown, Coach. I'm going to let you get into security, do your thing. We're going to step back, take a break. Before we do, I just want to remind everybody again, we may be getting preempted for the Dodgers at 9:30. So make sure you either get into the live stream on X at Mark Hoke Show or on YouTube and Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, or download your Odyssey app because that's where you can hear our station and all the great Odyssey stations all the time. AUDACY. Pick that up right now, and you'll be able to listen to the last half hour of the show as we wait to hear if that rain delay is going to screw anything up. All right, Coach, I'll catch you on the other side here.
Yep, I'll log back in once through security.
Sounds good. All right, we'll be right back here on the Mark Hoke Show. And what's to come? Well, some more changes to WrestleMania, and we have new champions. 3 more this week, guys. Plus, we had NXT Stand Deliver. We got TNA Rebellion coming up. ADW Dynasty. It's loaded, and we'll have it all for you. We'll be right back.
Understanding the many things in a mother's life affecting her pregnancy is important. You can help improve the health of all mothers and babies in Nevada by completing a pregnancy risk assessment monitoring system survey about your recent pregnancy. also known as PRAMS. The survey is from the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The survey asks new moms about their experience before, during, and after pregnancy. Responses are confidential and used to help improve the health of mothers and babies in Nevada. If you receive a PRAMS survey, please share your story. Learn more at nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. That's nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. This message, sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Springfest is happening now at Lowe's. Keep the spotlight on your yard with Stay Green Premium 2 cubic foot mulch, 5 bags for $10. Plus, when you want more help indoors, get up to 40% off select major appliances that help you supercharge your chores. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid to 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we're back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Very happy to have you joining us. It is the best in pro wrestling as we are just a couple weeks away from WrestleMania. Invading Las Vegas as WWE will be taking over town for about 5 or 6 days. Should be a lot of fun. And of course, a ton of different events happening in Las Vegas as well. So you might want to check out Phil Stamper's independent calendar at Trust and Phil on X. So many terrific events going on, and it is going to be one hell of a week here in Las Vegas. Whether they sold out Allegiant Stadium or not, still going to be an awesome time here in Vegas for WrestleMania. So everything's going to kind of get rolling on the 15th. I know there's stuff going on with Palms, WrestleCon, and there's just cards everywhere. I know FSW is doing some pretty good stuff over at the HyperX Arena and at their facility as well. It should be terrific. By the way, I just saw some footage come over real fast. I got to throw this in. That GCW card, Marco Stunt is get back out doing a little bit of wrestling. He's doing well with his car sales career, but Marco was in a little bit of trouble, and guess who shows up? Jungle Jack Perry. So Jungle Jack Perry rescues Marco Stunt, truly reuniting the Jurassic Express. So nice job, Jack. And that, really on a side note for with AEW, they're sending their guys everywhere, and smart move. We got that card up in Long Island on in the beginning of May. I think it's May 1st, where MJF is wrestling Nick Nemeth. That's going to be fun. I'd love to go up there for that match. But AEW just keeps doing everything they can to promote, and it's pretty impressive. So once again, if you want to join us, Dodgers coming up possibly at 9:30 on KDAWN. So make sure you just have that Odyssey app, AUDACY. You'll be able to stay with us or join us in the live stream. And the live stream is great. We got all these crazy people in here coming in and giving us terrific comments, and we love the fans, and especially people. It's Easter Sunday and you're tuning in, man. That's special to me, and I want to thank you for that. Some other WrestleMania news coming up. We are probably going to be having 2 more matches at least, as it looks like. First, we will be seeing Io Sky and Asuka. That is one match that's being rumored. And then we got LA Knight has been mixing it up with iShow Speed. Trashed the studio. That's too bad. But LA Knight apparently is going to be teaming with the Usos to take on Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and iShow Speed at WrestleMania. Of course, Theory and Paul are the new WWE World Tag Team Champions, as they won the belts on Raw from the Usos. So now we have that. We also had NXT Stand and Deliver, which just breaks my heart that it's not here. That was so much fun to do that in the morning on Saturday before everything else got rolling. But that card ends, and we have 2 new champions crowned on NXT Stand and Deliver. Kids, that has taken us up to 43. Count them. I did. And it's getting harder and harder to keep track. 43 new 43 title changes since Stephanie Vaquer won the WWE Women's Championship on September 20th. That is insane, guys. You are saying that every belt has not just changed hands once, but at least twice. It comes out to like 2.4 per title. And I'm not counting the Heritage title that got thrown off a bridge. But that is unbelievable. We have been, I've been talking about this on the show, that WWE has been using title changes as a crutch. Instead of telling stories, they're just flipping belts. That's only going to get you so far, guys. And you need to have stories behind why those championships are changing hands, why those rivalries are happening. NXT Stand and Deliver, awesome show. The 2 new champions, Lola Vice wins the women's championship last night in a triple threat match with JC Jane and Kendall Gray, who's Kendall Gray, by the way. She is on her way. I mean, what a great women's division NXT has. They have been doing some incredible stuff down there. So we have that title change hands, and Tony D'Angelo walks out of St. Louis with the NXT championship as he beats Joe Hendry, Ricky Stanks, and Ethan Page. And it had to be tempting to either leave it on Hendry or possibly give it to one of those 2 guys. But Tony D has been there forever, and what a great reward for him. They're calling him a Grand Slam champion down there. I don't know if you can count the Heritage Championship. I just, with it being flung off the side of a bridge, it doesn't seem like that's really that important of a championship anymore. That happened back, I believe, in July. But congratulations to Tony D'Angelo and Lola Vice for winning championships at NXT Stand and Deliver. I was curious, you guys out there, are you surprised Miles Bourne held on against Johnny Gargano, or are you a little surprised that Tatum Paxley held on against Blake Monroe? But they did. So they didn't change every championship last night. But a couple of big wins there at NXT Stand and Deliver. Congratulations to Tony D'Angelo and Lola Vice on their new championships. Javon Campbell in the chat. I love Javon. Javon Campbell, E357, says Io versus Asuka for the Kyrie title. Yes. Kyrie Sane at the moment, not on the card. I would imagine if that the Io Asuka match does happen, the Kyrie's going to be out there. So she'll at least get to be a part of it. But man, I'm sorry. Why is Carmelo Hayes not involved? He better be. If they don't have him in this match and he doesn't do something in it, I don't know what I'm going to say. Like I said, Dragunov not on the card. It's an interesting list of some of the people that are not at the moment on the WrestleMania card. And you're looking at Hayes, you're looking at Dragunov, Tiffany Stratton, the Golden Girl, is not on the WrestleMania card. How about that? How about Damian Priest? Not on the WrestleMania card. I would imagine they'll make an appearance. I think Priest will make an appearance with Truth. I don't think they're going to leave those guys totally out of it. But are they going to be defending their tag titles on there? I doubt it. Oh, we're technically at 12, probably at 14 matches for the weekend. Would they go to 16 guys? I don't know. I mean, they've already been skimping a little bit on some of these pay-per-views. So I don't know if they would go to an 8-match card, but I don't think anybody would complain. You're getting that early start where the broadcast is starting, I believe, at 2:30 Eastern time or 2:30 Pacific time. So why not? Come on, just do it. Just do it. Put Carmelo and Ilya on the card. Just please reward those guys for what they did. Ugh, I don't know. They're talking about adding some people to the Intercontinental title match. Maybe looking for somebody from AAA and putting somebody on from SmackDown, kind of make it a 7-way ladder match for the IC Championship. I'm cool with that. Fine, go and promote AAA a little bit in there. Coach Keith Morrison in the chat box saying, don't forget the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Yeah, let's get that back on the card. I tell you what, I really like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal being on the card because it gave everybody a chance to, you could throw 30 guys out there and at least give them a taste of it. You're working hard all year long. Well, go out and be in a Battle Royal for 5 minutes. No, what's wrong with that? I don't understand why they pulled it off the main show, and I think they've been throwing it on SmackDown the last couple of years. But yeah, let's bring that back, Coach Keith. I would agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, so WrestleMania shaping up to be very interesting, but yeah, I got to tell you, I'm sick of the celebrity stuff. And Lil Yachty, by the way, that one bugged me. Like I said, it bugged me so much because Carmelo's not on, but Lil Yachty is with the guy that's been, Trick Williams didn't need Lil Yachty. But Lil Yachty, he's mad. He's mad that everybody's ticked that he's showed up. And here's his rationale of why he deserved to be on the WrestleMania card. I understand y'all upset, but don't try and step on my moment. I'm at the TV screen every Monday and Friday religiously. I've been to more PLEs than most. I probably know more history than most of y'all. Who's to say I don't deserve to be a part of something I love so dearly? Nobody. But is that your criteria? Hey, I've been to a bunch of PLEs and I watch. And he's going to sit there and tell me that he knows wrestling history better than I do? Good luck. I've been watching wrestling for 42 years. I've been to PLEs. Man, I had to sit through the hog pen match in Hershey, Pennsylvania between Henry O. Godwin and Triple H, otherwise known as the punishment match. If I had to watch that, I deserve to be on WrestleMania. Who can they send me out with right now, everybody? Get a chat box. Pick a match that I should be on. I'll take on Pat McAfee. Just throw me in with Cody. I got him. Maybe Drew McIntyre could throw me off a building or something. I don't know. But don't give me that's your criteria for being involved in WrestleMania. Please. Ugh. All right. I'm done ranting about that. We've got a whole lot more coming up on the Mark Hoke Show. There was a big return in AEW. We're going to talk about that. AEW Dynasty's next Sunday. That's going to hit us soon. TNA Rebellion's on Saturday. And, oh boy, Janelle Grant's attorney's fired again. Stick around there, everybody. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Making money isn't all that hard, but keeping it is tough. It's why I like having a One Nevada One checking rewards account. All I had to do was set up direct deposit with my job, and boom, I get paid 2 days early, just in time for the weekend. And when I do have to spend, I just make sure it's with my One Nevada debit card, and I get cash back. So get your money sooner and keep more of it with a One Nevada One checking rewards account.
Visit onenevada.org to learn more and open a One checking rewards account.
Our one focus is you.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Ready to hit the road in a new ride? One Nevada Credit Union believes your life should be rewarded. With a new or refinanced auto loan, One Nevada will let you skip payments for 90 days. You really can drive now and pay later. At One Nevada, we offer freedom from payment stress and more money in your pocket. So you spend less time worrying about financing and more time enjoying the drive.
Our one focus is you.
Check out the benefits of a One Nevada auto loan today at onenevada.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity lender.
Most of us don't think twice about turning on a light, taking a shower, or running to the store. But what if you couldn't for a week or longer? Have you considered what you would do without power or running water? Most people aren't prepared for 3 days, let alone weeks. But here's the good news. If you can prepare now for 30 days, you're ready for almost anything. Power outages, wildfires, earthquakes, or any unexpected disruptions. Getting there is easier than you think. Create a disaster preparedness kit today. Pick up 1 extra can of food this week. Set aside a few gallons of water. Pick up a battery-powered radio, extra batteries, and a flashlight. Include a first aid kit and your basic household needs. Small steps add up, and before you know it, you're ready. For a checklist and more info, visit oem.nv.gov. Sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Nevada Office of Emergency Management Homeland Security, and your local emergency manager's office, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Springfest means more sun, more fun, and more free at Lowe's. Keep your yard in line with an additional free Ego 56-volt battery when you buy a select Ego mower, trimmer, or blower. Plus, keep landscaping fresh with Stay Green 1 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for $10. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/8. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hearing loss makes it hard to stay connected over the phone. Now, a new caption telephone, CapTel, shows captions of everything a caller says. It's like closed captions for TV, but for phone calls. It's helping people nationwide reconnect to family and friends. Best of all, CapTel is available at no cost to people with hearing loss. Shipping and installation are free. Struggling with hearing loss? Call now to see if you qualify for a no-cost CapTel phone. Call 800-375-1175. That's 800-375-1175.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
He's rescued. I'm Roger Stern, Fox News. We're learning new details about the operation that led to the rescue of that missing airman down by Iran Friday. Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
A senior U.S. official telling Fox News it wasn't until Saturday morning that the CIA was able to confirm the location and that this was the individual they were trying to rescue. There was concern among the American government that this was an Iranian campaign to try and lure in U.S. forces and ultimately attack them. According to this official, on Saturday morning, the CIA director made sure that the U.S. Secretary of War, the Joint Chiefs Chairman, and the president himself were aware. And I'm told that within 8 hours, U.S. planes were on their way to Iran. And within 12 hours, there were boots on the ground to rescue this U.S. crew member. As all of this was taking place, there was a deception campaign behind the scenes.
Iran had offered a reward to anyone who would turn in the airman. The other crew member on the F-15 had already been rescued. NASA's Artemis 2 astronauts more than halfway to the moon. The crew, 3 Americans and 1 Canadian, will perform a lunar flyby on Monday before heading straight back to Earth. It marks the first crewed moon mission in more than 50 years, picking up where the Apollo program left off. But there's a problem on board. The toilet's been malfunctioning since liftoff. Mission Control has them using backup collection bags. A wildfire in Southern California that broke out Friday, now mostly under control. The Springs fire in Riverside County, about 60 miles east of L.A., has seen conditions improve. Firefighters say Santa Ana winds have eased, helping crews gain ground. America is listening to Fox News.
Get those W-2s ready. Tax season has arrived. It's the Fox Business Tax Tips. Fox News Radio's Ginny Casola and Hillary Barsky are joined by the hosts of the Fox Business Network to provide you with the latest tips, tricks, and updates on filing your taxes. From deadlines to tax law changes to the latest deductions, we'll cover it all to make sure you keep that hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket. Listen and follow the Fox Business Tax Tips at foxnewspodcasts.com. Every weekday, it's your go-to source for staying informed and entertained. The Fox News Primetime Highlights Podcast, offering a curated selection of the most impactful moments of the Ingram Angle, Jesse Waters Primetime, Hannity, and Gutfeld. Listen and follow now so you never miss a moment of the action-packed highlights from these must-watch Fox News Channel shows. Go to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. America's listening to Fox News.
Your back-to-back Los Angeles Dodgers baseball is coming up this morning at 9:30.
You're kidding.
And the talk you love is always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartMedia, or TuneIn apps. Just search for KDAWN in Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show, coming to you live from Las Vegas, home of WrestleMania 42. We're just a couple weeks away from all you crazy wrestling fans invading our fair city. If you need any travel tips, let me know. I got you. A lot of great places to eat, stay, do while you're here in Vegas. So, yeah, that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg. So, if you need help, drop me a line. You hit me up on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. No, try and get to all of your comments on there. But yeah, it's going to be a great time. Man, we are getting close to WrestleMania coming up. Oh, man, can't wait. Should be a good time over at Allegiant Stadium and around the city for all these incredible events. So brace yourselves, everybody. It's going to be a unreal week here in Las Vegas. So we'll get back to everything that happened on SmackDown. Of course, Pat McAfee was revealed as the man behind the phone calls, to a lot of fans' consternation. I honestly didn't see many people that really liked the idea. But it was Pat McAfee, and of course, Pat helped attack Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. Said that the current product sucks. Could be right. I don't think it sucks. I think it needs. I'll parallel it to this. I work in a casino, right? And our EDRs, man, when they cook, they don't. It's food, right? It's edible. But is it great food? You can put a little seasoning in there and some other stuff and make it fantastic. And I think that's what WWE needs right now. They need to go to the spice cabinet. So maybe Pat McAfee's right about me. Mark Henry's right about that. What he said on Busted Open Radio. So we'll find out. But once again, I tell everybody, see what they have planned before you just say that's terrible. Do I like the revelation? No, I think there were other people you use, but let's see where the story goes. Yeah, see where the story goes. Cody's got to be so mad, by the way. By two-man in the 316 in our chat box, Ari now took The Rock's place as becoming Temu final boss. Yes. They have interfered 3 times, 3 years in a row in the WrestleMania main event. I just Cody's head's got to be spinning right now. Like, what do they do? What am I not doing that you guys think you got to throw other people in here? The Rock issue at WrestleMania 40, and plus the whole Bloodline gang's involved in that. And Rock stepping in. 41, you have Travis Scott and the John Cena heel turn that a lot of people, as it turned out, didn't like very much. And Travis Scott was just not the guy. And that's why I'm not big on this Lil Yachty thing. Look, okay, Lil Yachty's a wrestling fan. Okay, yay. Many of us are. That doesn't mean we should be out there on the grandest stage of them all. Come on. No Carmelo. No Solo Sikoa at the moment. No Ilya Dragunov. No Damian Priest. What happened to Damian Priest? Did he pour rat poison in Stephanie's cornflakes or something, and Trips wasn't happy about it? I don't know. No Tiffany Stratton, no Roxanne Perez. The El Grandes, Americanos, whatever you want to say, they're not going to be there. Raquel Rodriguez not on the card. Cool. I know you can't have everybody, but geez, some names there you got to wonder about. But a name that will not be at WrestleMania because, well, he's not a part of WWE is Chris Jericho. Jericho makes his return. They sneaked him in at Winnipeg. Played the music, and not the bad music, the Judas. And Jericho walks in, says, I'm home, walks out. But Chris Jericho, and looking sharp, by the way, he really did look like he was in great shape. But Chris Jericho is back in WWE, and of course, everybody's firing away at him. Why did you not go to WWE? And apparently, the WWE wanted to do a retirement tour for Chris. I guess Chris just isn't ready. Plus, let me ask everybody out there an honest question. If you saw the retirement tours of John Cena, AJ Styles, and Goldberg right now, after you've been gone for so long and you helped build the foundation of AEW, would you really trust WWE to handle your retirement tour? I don't know. I think deep down in my heart answer would be, nah. So Chris Jericho is back with AEW. Apparently he's re-signed. You guys like Jericho back in AEW? Let me know in that chat box. Let's head on over at Mark Hoke Show on X or The Mark Hoke Show on YouTube and Facebook. Join us in our chat box. Let me know what you think. And just as a reminder, still have not gotten word on whether the Dodgers start time for pregame show is going to be moved up. But that is scheduled for 9:30 on KDAWN. So if you want to stay with us, download the Odyssey app if you don't have it already. AUDACY. And just, look up Mark Hoke Show, look up KDAWN, and you'll be able to listen to the last half hour of the show or hop in the chat box. Join us there. That's a fun place to go, by the way. You could do me a favor and, do the Odyssey app and get in the chat box on our socials. Just have fun. Go crazy with it. And happy Easter to everybody out there as well. But yeah, Chris Jericho back. And that leads into AEW Dynasty. That's coming up on Sunday. We'll have more of a preview next week for it. But man, this card is stacking up to be a lot of fun. Alex Windsor, Marina Shafir. That's going to be one of the opening matches on the pre-show. That's a good match. FTR against Cope and Cage for the World Tag Team Championship. That's going to be a blast. Moxley against Will Ospreay for the Continental Championship. Brace yourself on that one. Andrade El Idolo and Darby Allin. Yep. MJF, Kenny Omega for the World Championship. Yes. And then more yes. Tekla and Jamie Hayter for the Women's Championship. Come on. That is fantastic. That's only 6 matches. There's 7 more to go. So get ready for that. That's going to be a fantastic card for AEW Dynasty. Saturday, TNA is going to be having TNA Rebellion coming up. And I do apologize because somehow I managed to wipe out the tab on that. I promise you I'll get that card in just a second for you. But that's going to be a great night too. That's on April 11th, coming to you from Cleveland. Celebrity involvement, that makes sense. Nick Nemeth is taking on AJ Francis, who is the guy that attacked him. And Bernie Kosar is going to be in Nick Nemeth's corner. It's in Cleveland. Nick is a Cleveland sports fan. And Bernie Kosar's come out. It connects. It fits. Plus Francis is a football player too. There you go. See? That one I can make sense out of. I can't make sense out of Lil Yachty. And no offense, the Pat McAfee thing doesn't totally make sense either. But here's your card on that one. World champ Mike Santana is going to be taking on Eddie Edwards, who's got a couple of pinfalls on him on Impact. So that should be a lot of fun. Of course, Edwards won that title shot in the Feast or Fired, which the Fired didn't last long for Steve Macklin, did it? The Hardys taking on the System for the TNA World Tag Team Championship, so they've got their hands full with some other teams in there too. Ariana Grace takes on Lei Ying Lee as they will have a rematch for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Moose against Special Agent Zero. The Elegance brand is taking on Mickey James, ODB, and Taryn Terrell. I love it. Mickey James and ODB. Against the Elegance brand. I smell hijinks and shenanigans in that one. Great match. Trey Miguel against Mustafa Ali. Tasha Steeles, Jason Hodgson, John Schuyler will be accompanying Mr. Ali. That is for the International Championship. Man, that should be a lights out match. Frankie Kazarian against Elijah. And the X Division Championships got Leon Slater and Cedric Alexander. I don't know what more you want from a card. And that is one of the great things about wrestling right now. There's so much talent out there. You shouldn't be disappointed when you tune in to see any of this stuff. NXT got some massive ratings. People loved it love Stand and Deliver Saturday night. This is going to be an unbelievable 10 days of pro wrestling starting on Friday. So brace yourselves, everybody. This TNA also is going to be putting their foot down. And I know a lot of the TNA stars are going to be over at WrestleCon in the Palms. So make sure you check that out. You know what? I'm just going to get this one out of the way. Janelle Grant and her legal team have fired away once again So we've got some new allegations against Vince McMahon and WWE. More sick, crazy stuff, but she contradicted herself a little bit in there. I didn't willingly send pictures to Brock Lesnar, but when he asked, I just did it. Oh, my God. I'm just talking about some of the stuff. I felt used, leveraged, humiliated, shamed, dehumanized, intimidated, and exploited. Got any more adjectives to describe it? For the business and the sexual gratification of these men. And just, I can't get into all this stuff. It's just some pretty rough sounding things that Janelle Grant accused everybody of. And, there was even an accusation that if Nick Khan had a meeting with Vince, that he'd have to wait for their making whoopee was done. Now, once again, I gotta question whether Janelle Grant, why do this right now? You have your potential arbitration meeting set where they're going to decide in June where that case is either going to go to an arbiter or they're going to take it to court. I don't think Janelle Grant wants this in court. And I'm going to say this. Why would you put this out right now? Oh, that's right. It's WrestleMania season and Brock's one of the main headliners on the card. That's the only reason you do it. You're trying to get publicity. Okay, so then you go to the next question. Why do you want the publicity? Look, if your case is that rock solid, you don't need this. She doesn't need to go out and do speeches. The burden of proof is going to be on her to prove that this relationship through all of this was not consensual. And given a lot of the stuff that's come out, and plus I'm not saying that Vince's behavior was good or WWE handled this well. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking from a straight legal standpoint that she's going to have to walk in front of a judge or a jury and say and explain to them how all these things and the gifts she got and everything else and the job and so on and so forth, that through all of this and years of, she claimed that, she was, let me find that one other little note that I had on it, but that she was completely traumatized and, her hair was falling out or getting torn out or something. There was all this sob story stuff going on. And, I don't know how she's going to prove it. That's the thing. It's one of those great lines from Training Day. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And this just seems like a desperation Hail Mary to me. I said, I'm not condoning what they did, but you have to wonder, she's a grown woman. Vince didn't chain her to the wall. I just have a hard time, and look, maybe she, she's a very mixed up person. And when I heard her speak, it's kind of weird, a little strange. I just don't know if all the ducks were in a row up there or not, but she was in love. Well, Vince loved her. These some crazy things for love, man. So more stuff from this case, and man, I can't wait till June because I have a feeling it's going to end up in front of an arbiter. I really do. I don't think either one of them wants this thing to go to court. It's going to look bad for everybody. But we'll see. And just got word by everybody, by the way, that we will be being preempted on KDAWN for the Dodgers at 9:30. So once again, to listen to the rest of the show until 10 o'clock, you're going to need to get on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Right? So make sure you hop on that app. and you'll be able to just, look us up, either the Mark Hoke Show, look up KDAWN, 101.5 FM in Las Vegas, and you'll be able to listen to the last half hour of the show, or you can join us in our socials and our chat box, on live stream at the Mark Hoke Show on Facebook and YouTube, or you can catch us on X at Mark Hoke Show. So we're going to be stepping aside for the Dodgers at 9:29-ish on KDAWN. So just so you're aware of that. So be ready. All right, let's head into our next break. And when we come back, somebody's lost all their belts. The belt collection is gone. It's not good. And we're going to talk about our good buddy Peter Rosenberg getting himself in a little bit of hot water. But is he right about suicide dives? We'll tell the story when we return here on the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GOAL to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GOAL to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GOAL to borrow up to $10,000.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. This special offer is only available by calling 800-208-8750. That's 800-208-8750.
Paid for by Bath Concepts Industries.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Let's do a little Disco Fever. This is our good buddy. Took a straight bullet from Cody Rhodes earlier on Friday Night SmackDown. Disco Fever. Did you guys like disco? Let me know in that chat box. Did you like disco? Just yes or no. Were you happy with that? Another comment in the chat box, by the way. And I love this Coach Keith Morrison guy. Coach Rosey brought him in. Man, Mark, I agree with you again. I don't care what Coach Rosey said. Coach is being a contrarian with me. It's kind of fun. It, gives you two sides of the debate. But there was a debate that took place that got a little hot and heavy on X. And and by the way, before you, once again, don't forget, it'll be 9:29-ish that we'll be switching over. So get your Odyssey apps ready. May as well head over there right now or join us in our on our socials for the live stream. So 9:29 is 9:29:30-ish, something like that. All right. But Pete Rosenberg was making a comment about suicide dives. This was coming on the heels of what happened with Io Sky. If you remember, last time she was on TV, she did a suicide dive and foot caught the rope, and she didn't come down very well. Hit her neck. I mean, just curled up. Thank God. I bet she was doing her bridges. Bet she was, because that could have been very bad. But Pete Rosenberg has never wrestled, but you've seen him on WWE programming and has his own radio show. Put up a tweet, said, "This is why I tell whoever I can at Evolve," he's doing commentary there, "and even on the main roster, don't bother with these dives. They are all risk, no reward. If you successfully hit a suicide dive in 2026, no one cares. But if you mess it up, you could truly harm yourself. Don't do it." Well, Bailey apparently jumped on him. Chris Hero jumped on him. Just saying how he shouldn't have been talking about it. Let the wrestlers do what they're going to do. Rosenberg, of course, on Cheap Heat on Busted Open, fired back. He went on a rant about it, too. Look, in case you haven't noticed, I don't think Pete Rosenberg likes to be called wrong. Just a hunch. But was he right? Was our suicide dives in 2026 just not necessary? I put that in a category with like Hurricane Rana's, the Devil's Kiss. I don't think you need to do it. I think there's very few people out there that really do a terrific suicide dive. Just like there's very few people out there that really do a good Hurricane Rana. And I think that, he's pointing out that it's just no one cares anymore. We've seen the suicide dive. Too much of a chance to get hurt. Think about what the suicide dive over the top rope did to AJ Francis. That stung him for a long time when he botched that. And he was lucky he didn't get hurt very badly. I make the argument from a little different perspective. I just don't think it's a great move. If Darby Allin does it, if Braun Breaker does it, with the speed that they can generate, yeah, that looks cool. But if it's a 275-pound guy, it's kind of like, Take a second and think about what happens at the end of the dive. You are either going to maybe get a shoulder block in, maybe. Or B, you're just pushing somebody into the barricade. Yeah, I can do a bunch of moves if I step out on the apron or I just go down to the floor to slam somebody into the barricades. Without taking that chance. Does it look neat? Yeah, but I would agree with Pete that I just don't think it has the impact that it used to have, and it's not a safe move. And I have another perspective on it as well. In that, as somebody who, I did wrestle in high school, and I'm thinking to myself, if someone charged and flew at me in the air, which you'd never do because you don't want to leave your feet. But let's just say it happened. Or let's just say you're in a fight. And that's where a lot of my wrestling perspective comes from. And if you're in a fight, which should be something like, what happens in the ring, is this something that would be you do? Is there an easy response to it? And I think a lot of times the suicide dives, it's a highly coordinated move. It's one of those things just like, You know, when somebody's jumping off the top rope and there's to the outside and there's 5 people standing to catch them, it looks dumb. And what damage are you doing? I could think of ways that, let's just say somebody is trying to beat me up around a wrestling ring and someone tries to do a suicide dive at me. Well, there's a couple things I'm going to do. I'm either just going to step the hell out of the way, pull the nope like Samoa Joe, and just let them bash their skull in. No, unless I'm that incapacitated that I'm just kind of woozy and standing up and just happen to be at the right time. Another thing that I can do is I can just punch them or hit them with a forearm or something as they're coming through the ropes. That wouldn't feel good. Or even worse, I could use a move that I used in amateur wrestling where, you would snap, where you'd be in a collar and elbow tie-up and you try to snap somebody down. It's called a snap. You try and get them off balance, maybe get them leaning forward, and then you'd snap them down and towards you so that they would go into the mat, and you just do a quick switch and get on top and get a takedown. Well, I might do that, but instead of snapping them to just down to a regular mat, I'm going to slam them into a barricade, or I'm going to push them straight down and have them hit their face into a pile of concrete. I wouldn't. It's not a good tactic if you're fighting, and that's part of the reason when I see people doing moonsaults off the top rope, it's like, okay, it looks great in the air, but if I'm in a wrestling match where I'm trying to beat somebody up, I'm not catching them. That's for sure. Oh, look, somebody's doing a moonsault towards me. Olay! So I get where Pete Rosenberg's coming from. Is it really worth it? I don't think it is. Now, there's going to be wrestlers out there that say, oh, it looks great. Pops the crowd. Okay. And I get that side of it. But I just think there's more effective things you could do. That's just me. I just feel like some of the aerial things that are done in pro wrestling right now just don't make a lot of sense. So am I totally agreeing with Pete? No. Am I somewhat agreeing with him? Yes. It's just hard for me to believe that I'm actually agreeing with Peter Rosenberg, but I am. So that was a pretty interesting debate that took place this week with Peter Rosenberg, talking about Io Sky and her collapse off that suicide dive and she caught her foot. Pretty interesting. And once again, very happy to have all of you that are on the Odyssey app right now. The Dodgers are on KDAWN, so thanks for being with us. Also that are catching us on our live stream, and happy Easter to you as we bring you the best in pro wrestling. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for joining us. And we go down some more of the list, some more WrestleMania news. Nikki Bella, well, apparently she ended up on a walking boot for that injury she had on TV about a week and a half ago. So she is doing rehab, trying to get herself in shape. And if I was going to win the Women's World Tag Team Championships, I probably would too. And yes, I'm calling it right now. And Nikki Bella, that the Bella twins are going to win the World Tag titles at WrestleMania. Yay. Yay. Ooh. If you can catch my enthusiasm on that. But the WrestleMania card shaping up right now. We are at 12, probably 2 more, including the Usos and LA Knight taking on the Vision and I Show Speed. That one sounds like it's going to happen. Io Sky and Asuka would be another one. But can you imagine if they left they can't leave Io Sky off the card. Sorry, I'm still steaming about SmackDown. Still steaming about it. Just cannot believe that Carmelo Hayes is not on the card. Cannot believe it. But WrestleMania still shaping up to be a pretty good one. And here's your card at the moment. And let's give you the betting odds, too, on betonline.ag. where, of course, if you want to, you can go on markhokeshow.com, click on the banner there, put in the code BOL1000, and you're going to get a 50% matching bonus up to $1,000. So if you put $1,000 on the account, on the site, you can bet just about anything, and literally just about anything. You're going to get a 50% matching bonus. So 1,000 would get you $500. It's a pretty good deal. So where are we at on the betting odds for WrestleMania? Well, here we go. Rhea Ripley, minus 350 against Jade Cargill's plus 225. So they are predicting that Rhea is going to win. And just in case you don't understand how that betting works, Rhea Ripley's minus 350, which means you would have to bet $350 to win 100. Whereas with Jade Cargill being plus 225, you would bet 100 to win 225. So if you see the negative, that means you're risking that number to get 100. If you see the positive, you're risking 100 to get that number. Liv Morgan, not as big a favorite as I thought she'd be. It's still a minus 550 against Stephanie Vaquer for the WWE Women's World Championship, which would end stunningly the longest current reign of any champion in WWE. September 20th. And that would be the longest reign. Whew. Stunning. Roman Reigns is the favorite to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And that is where The Rock is coming in. That wee comment that he made in that one promo is still sticking in my head. Roman Reigns minus 290, CM Punk plus 190. The undisputed WWE Championship match, one of the tighter ones on the board. Randy Orton is the favorite, minus 190 against Cody Rhodes, plus 145. In that, the Intercontinental Championship, at least, is a 5-way ladder match at the moment. Javon Evans, minus 165, is the betting favorite, followed by the current champion Penta at minus 110. And they are not giving Dragon Lee, Rusev, or JD McDonough a shot. Dragon Lee plus 1,200. Rusev plus 1,800. JD McDonough plus 2,200. So if you want to try and sneak something in there, that might be a place to do it in case you think there could be an upset in that match. Obafemi is the betting favorite against Brock Lesnar. So the smart guys seem to think that Obafemi will go over against Brock. Obafemi minus 325, Brock Lesnar plus 215. Jacob Fatu is minus 625 against Drew McIntyre's plus 375. That might as well be minus 16,250,000. Drew is going to be filming Highlander. Jacob Fatu is going over in this match. Sorry, don't mean to semi-spoil it for you, but I just did. Trick Williams minus 475 against Sami Zayn, plus 300 for the U.S. title. Finn Balor is the favorite to win the Intercontinental Championship, minus 400 against Dominic Mysterio's plus 250. So Danhausen's magical curse has ruined Dominic Mysterio in a way his own father could not. The tag match between the Usos, LA Knight, and the Vision and I Show Speed is on the board. They're calling this one pretty much dead even. Usos minus 125 and Vision and I Show Speed minus 115. Gunther is the favorite to beat Seth Rollins, minus 500. Rollins plus 300. Women's Tag Team Championship match. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria are they're slight betting favorites? No, don't do it. They're plus 120. The Bella Twins plus 130. Do that. They're winning. The Irresistible Forces, the current champions, plus 175. Poor Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, plus 900. I wish Charlotte Flair would have been on the phone. That would have been fun. Good. So that one's going down. And the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, it is Becky Lynch, minus 450. Heavy favorite to defeat AJ Lee at plus 275. So that's your current betting odds for WrestleMania right now. So hop on betonline.ag and check that out. All right, step back. One more segment to go here on the Mark Hoke Show. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We give you the WrestleMania rundown. Broken Down Dynasty coming up, Rebellion. some other goofy things going on, and that's some strange idiot at TMZ that asked John Cena a question that you're not going to believe. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM. Talk to Las Vegas.
Hi, I'm Alan Stock, inviting you to join me October 9th as we celebrate America's heritage and 250th anniversary with Colette. We'll explore the history of America in Monticello, Mount Vernon, and Colonial Williamsburg. We'll visit Washington, D.C.'s world-famous memorials and monuments, including Arlington National Cemetery. Plus, enjoy the timeless elegance and heritage as we stay 2 nights at America's resort, the Greenbrier. This and so much more. Colette covers the details, flights, hotels, meals, and local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss your chance to celebrate with me. And to learn more, visit kxnt.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942. That's 800-581-8942 or kxnt.com.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
Free trial is 7 days. If customer does not cancel prior to the end of a trial period, fees will apply.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there, providing hot meals, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's do this one more time. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on an Easter Sunday. Man, all you guys join us on Easter Sunday. God bless you. God bless everybody. Well, he is risen. All right. So, once again, some new champions crowned in WWE this week. 3 more as the Vision takes the World Tag Team Championships off of the Usos on Monday. And then NXT Stand and Deliver. 2 new champions there as Tony D'Angelo wins the NXT Championship and Lola Vice wins the NXT Women's Championship. Congratulations to our new champions. The WWE random name generator. We're all very familiar with that. We keep seeing these interesting names popping up. But I got to say, this one didn't work out too well. They've been slipping up a little bit on a couple of these. Starboy Charlie is now known as Chaz with 2 Z's. Chaz. Starboy Hall made his debut on the April 1st episode of Evolve. Well, once again, hop into the Google machine before you assign a name to a wrestler. Chaz Hall, and believe it or not, the Chaz Hall with 2 Z's is actually the name of a convicted murderer in New Zealand. That's right, kids. They named Starboy after a murderer. And get this, convicted in 2017 of murdering Victoria Foster, the mother of his then 5-year-old daughter. Life in prison, minimum term of 15 and a half years. That's who you want to name your new high flyer superstar after. Way to go. Jeez. Of course, WWE had that issue when they were going to name Walter Gunther Stark. But then it turned out that Gunther Stark was the name of a German U-boat commander during World War II. So they just dropped the Stark. Come on, WWE. Let's go. Get it together. Can't hey, we got this name. Well, let's make sure that this doesn't have any other names. Okay, any other people. Yeah, he's a murderer. Wow. So TMZ, another interesting story here. Because we've got to just make everything as gay as possible in our society today. Decided to ask John Cena whether WWE was ready for a transgender wrestler. Clearly, this person is ignorant about pro wrestling because there are quite a few transgender wrestlers out there, including a former AEW Women's Champion. John simply replied, "No, we're in the business to tell stories. If the story works, great." But what a dumb question to just try to stir things up. Quite frankly, I don't think too many of us care whether there's a transgender wrestler or not. Like I said, there's a bunch of them out there. I've seen quite a few perform. Giselle Shaw, Dark Sheik's out there. A lot of transgender wrestlers. But once again, it was a question. It's a couple weeks from WrestleMania. John's going to be hosting it. Let's see if we can trap John Cena. Good job, John. Way to stay out of that one. Oh, but come on, TMZ. And what does that really have to do with anything at all? Oh, the answer is nothing. Ugh. Unbelievable. WWE, by the way, is still holding on to comp tickets. They're not doing any comps yet. You guys have about 16,000 plus seats, but they're hoping to sell. They're doing everything they can, as we have seen. John Cena being named the host of WrestleMania. Pat McAfee was the man behind the phone calls. Lil Yachty, Mr. I deserve to be. No, you don't. Shut up. Sorry, Lil Yachty. I went to pay-per-views and I watch it all the time. I know wrestling. I should be on. Dude, sorry. You walked into a WrestleMania program 2 weeks before it's happening, or they're telling us, and after you got on there, that you deserve to be part of WrestleMania. Okay. Hey, you know what? WWE wants to do it. Great. Knock yourselves out. But I think we're all getting a little bit tired of WWE thinking that they gotta just shove celebrities into WrestleMania. And is it the first time that WrestleMania has had celebrities? No, of course not. But you gotta make it make sense. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, Mary Hart was part of a WrestleMania. I'm like, what is Mary Hart doing at WrestleMania? I mean, popular host of Entertainment Tonight, but really? Just look, I get what they're trying to do. And I get that they want to fill that stadium without standing outside and saying, here's a ticket. But once again, the move has got to kind of fit a little bit. If there would have been a little bit of buildup, some reason Lil Yachty was in there, you went to a Lil Yachty concert and, maybe Trick was there and Carmelo went after, just something, anything. It would have worked, but I don't know. And I would love to see WWE's internals about this. When we brought Jelly Roll in, did it really help sell tickets? Did it really help to bring new people into pro wrestling? I'd be curious to see what their numbers say. No, because if they could show me, yeah, you know what, we got 100,000 new people watching pro wrestling because we brought Jelly Roll in, I'll shut up. If you're going to tell me that Lil Yachty is going to sell you 5,000 more tickets each night and is going to bring in 75,000 people to watch WrestleMania, okay, I'll buy it. But until then, you lost me. Absolutely lost me. And of course, we're referring back to that SmackDown episode on Friday night, the crazy one, as Danhausen's curse prevents Kit Taylor and The Miz from winning the World Tag Team Championships because the referee got accidentally cursed and could not count to 3. Why couldn't he just not count? He gets a cramp or something. And the arms up in the air, all of a sudden it stops. Come on, that's Papa Shango stuff right there. This is gonna. I'm telling you, this Danhausen stuff's gonna get out of control because they're not gonna know how to temper this. They're just gonna go nuts. So Danhausen prevents him from winning the championship. Lil Yachty comes out with Trick Williams as they're observing Carmelo Hayes get screwed over, lose the U.S. title, and had to feign an injury. And it'll be Sami Zayn and Trick Williams for the U.S. Championship. And, of course, Pat McAfee showing up as the Randy Orton phone call. He is the man that's going to help save wrestling. And at least I would trust Pat in a role like that. But once again, does it come down to how many tickets, how many viewers is Pat McAfee going to help pick up? I would say that he's, at least in viewership, he's got a shot to pick some people up. He'll be promoting the hell out of this on his show on ESPN. And that show's by far the best show on ESPN. I want to see where the story goes, but I'm just worried that it's going to go to nowhere land and getting involved in Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, which needed no help whatsoever. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. If you would have done something along the lines of a rival of Dusty, that would have been fun. Look, I mentioned this in the first hour. Give me Charlotte. No, the Rhodes and the Flairs, those two didn't get along very well. Bring Tessa Blanchard and maybe sign Brock Anderson. You got Ted DiBiase Jr. out there who's going to be here in Las Vegas. He's got the call. I think he's at WrestleCon, but he's going to be here. Get him involved. There's a lot of people you could have brought in that would have made a little more sense of Pat McAfee. And do we bring the Attitude Era back? I don't know. I said, I'm some good things about the Attitude Era. There was some great wrestling and a couple of great stories, but there's a lot of garbage in there too. I don't mind WWE trying to find an edge. They need it. Because that, to me, is what's lacking that AEW has. The AEW, a lot of the feuds and matches have an edge to them. You know, there's an intensity, but it's just not quite there in WWE. We'll see. And that's going to do it for us. Thanks for everybody that stuck around through the Dodger preemption. And we're going to see you next week. We're going to be 1 week away from WrestleMania, guys, as the return to Vegas. But WWE will be coming into town, and all of you that are going to be here, we can't wait. Looking forward to having a terrific show next week for you. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, The Mark Hoke Show. Just join us all on all of those social media platforms. We'll see you next week here on 101.5 FM KDAWN, the Talk of Las Vegas. Have a great day and a terrific holiday. Happy Easter, everyone. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for